Hey, Javier with Well Mattress and Furnishing Centres, and today's new item is going to be weighted blankets. So, weighted blankets, we've actually waited, literally weighted blankets, waited. Anyways, we've waited a while to actually start carrying them in the stores until we found the right dealer. Gretchen did months of research on this last year. It's taken us this long to actually find a vendor that manufactures the ones that we found to be the quality ones that people actually needed. You can buy cheap weighted blankets, but you're in the end going to find that it's not worth it. It's not really doing anything for you. There's a lot of hype that came behind the weighted blanket movement, and what happens is the science behind it is actually there's a quality that needs to be met, and that's what took us so long. So what we did, we went out and we shopped several vendors. We found a vendor named Zensory. These guys here, they make a 15 pound, a 20 pound, and a 7 pound for children. Their weighted blanket, the reason we liked it so much, and I'm gonna find the zipper here because this is actually a duvet that covers the weighted blanket. Oh, there it is. Okay, so their weighted blanket, what makes this one such a quality weighted blanket is, well, not only the duvet, okay, and I'm gonna cover the duvet here in a little bit, but I'm gonna show you the blanket first. Okay, so blanket wise, this is what you're looking at, okay? So, weighted blankets, they rely on there's beads in each one of these squares, okay? A good quality weighted blanket is going to have glass beads, not the silica beads. The reason for glass over silica is the fact that you won't get the powdery residue, okay? So what happens is over time friction causes silica to start breaking down into almost a talcum powdery looking substance. You start getting powder outside of the weighted blanket. Okay, the other thing that we're looking at here is we're looking at 4-inch squares, okay? The smaller the squares, the more the weight will stay in one location and it won't travel around as much. You see some of these cheap weighted blankets that the squares are almost 8 inches. All the sand or all the silica beads, they start gathering down here. Where's the distribution? Okay, so remember, the smaller the square, the more central the weight is. The other big thing about the Zensory weighted blanket is going to be the fact that it stands alone, okay? You could just use the blanket by itself. The fabric that the blanket is made out of is a mixture of the tencel and a bamboo rayon, okay? Making it a very sweat-wicking fabric. It's a very long-lasting fabric. It's very color-fast, very good to use just the blanket by itself. But what this company did, because they know that even though this thing is completely washable, how many people are going to be able to get a 20-pound blanket into their washing machine? So what they did is, yes, completely washable, but let's go a step more. Let's go ahead and put it in a duvet or create a duvet, which is these guys here. They come in blue and in pink. Let's create a duvet that works hand in hand with this blanket, okay? And they make it so easy to put on. There's strings every 12 inches on the duvet on the inside of it. And basically what you're going to do is you take the strings and put them through the loops that are already on the blanket. And you're going to just tie the strings to the duvet. I don't tie them too tight because of course you have to take it off to wash it. You're gonna stick the blanket in the duvet, okay? And then you're going to go ahead and zipper it if you can find the zipper. Where the heck did I put this? There it is. It's on the opposite side. I'm so smart. Okay, so here is the zipped up duvet on the blanket, okay? So, excellent product. Long lasting, quality construction, just a really, really good quality weighted blanket. How do you know which weighted blanket to buy? So, there's a theory, or there's a practice where it should be around 10% of your body weight, okay? So anybody up to 200 pounds, you would be looking at a 15-pound blanket. Anybody a little over 200 pounds would be a 20-pound blanket. So what about kids? So kids and weighted blankets. First off, let me tell you that medical caution is used for any child below 4 years old and using a weighted blanket. Reason is because you are adding weight, it's harder to breathe. Children less than 4 years old, it just doesn't feel safe to be using a weighted blanket with them. Okay, with that being said, weighted blanket for a child at 7 pounds is an excellent weight. What is it used for on a child? Well, with a child, as with an adult, it calms anxiety. Weighted blankets calm anxiety. They give you this feeling of being hugged. They give you this calming feeling. Just a wonderful calming feeling, like at the end of the day, right before bed. It helps you go to sleep faster, I will tell you that. Just a wonderful feeling that you get from a weighted blanket. So let me tell you personal experience with a weighted blanket. We provided 3 testers, one for our Carlsbad store, one for our Alamo store, and one for Gretchen and myself. We all used them for about a month before we actually put them out on our sales floor. We all had different reactions to it. David in Carlsbad said it was way too hot for him to be able to use. With that, Gretchen did some research, and yes, that is a thing that happens with weighted blankets. If you try to sleep with them, think about it, you've got 20 pounds of insulation on you, so you are going to be holding a lot of heat. So that is one thing that we will tell you, that if you plan on sleeping with a weighted blanket, just remember that at the end of the day, it's just 20 pounds of insulation. So use it when you start sleeping, because my personal experience is that when I used it when I started to sleep, or when I use it when I start to sleep, it's wonderful. I can get to sleep almost twice as fast as I normally do. And I don't have any issue falling asleep as it is, but this thing just almost knocks you right out. Just because you have that nice compression, that feeling of being hugged, it's very calming. So it helps you fall asleep faster. The thing is that about an hour to 2 hours later, I'm waking up and I'm feeling like I'm in an oven baking, because my body heat has built up underneath this thing. So I kick it off and go right back to sleep. So yes, pros, helps you fall asleep much faster, calms you down. Cons, it holds heat. That's the pros and cons of trying to sleep with a weighted blanket. Now, what we found also is that if you put it on while you're on the couch and you're watching TV, it will calm you down to a point of relaxing you so much that you realize how tired you really are. This was Gretchen's issue. Tired her out so much that she was always napping with it. Good thing to do when you're calming down. I mean, that's a wonderful thing. It's supposed to calm you down. But bad thing to do if you're having to find, if it's the middle of the day and all you're trying to do is just relax for a little bit before you have stuff to do. They really do work. I mean, that's the bottom line on this. They really do work in calming and relaxing you. Let me see, other things that we found, I think for Melanie, who works with us on the team at the Alamogordo store, she found that it was too heavy for her. Well, that was because we all got the 20-pound for the display, and she needed to go down a little more. The 15 would have probably worked better for her. We haven't tried. I believe that's next on our list, is to have her try the 15 to see if she gets a different result on it. So, just the bottom line on that is the weight that you pick really does matter. Other things, we've had customers that have told us, and research that have told us, that the weight of the blanket, if you tend to have anxiety, like really bad anxiety, you've already been told about weighted blankets, but what the doctors tell their patients is that you start small. So as an adult, you would start with a 10-pound blanket, then a 15, and then the 20. You wouldn't right off the bat start with a 20, because that, I'm going to go to the extreme, that crushing feeling, it leads to even more anxiety, and that's where people just start saying like, oh, I can't take it, I just can't take it. So if you feel like you have that anxiousness, I would recommend starting at 10, going 15, going to 20, okay? Well, I hope that you've learned enough about the weighted blankets to know that they are a wonderful tool to use to calm you down, to relieve your anxiety, especially nowadays. Who doesn't need to relieve some stress and anxiety because things are just going crazy? The other thing that I wanted you to know is that these are in stock, and these will make wonderful holiday gifts. I'm telling you, who wouldn't want something that's calming for Christmas? I know that some of my family members will be receiving them. I know by now in the video that my mom has stopped watching because, well, I know her. Anyways, and so I know that with confidence I can give her one of these and tell you right now that I will give her one of these for Christmas, and she won't even know. So anyways, until next time, this has been the new item of the week for Live Well Mattress and Furnishing Centers, weighted blankets. They're available at both stores. Come by the store, try it out. We have a display at each one. Don't worry, sanitized between every customer, just like our beds, just like our pillows, everything's sanitized. But until next time, I'm Javier with Live Well Mattress and Furnishing Centers. Have a wonderful day. Bye.